So now we shall study about two refractions through a rectangular glass slab. Okay, so here we have a diagram with us. Okay, and ABCD is a rectangular glass slab. All right, and we have the incident ray here EO, and we have the refracted ray OO dash, and again we have a ray which is emergent ray GH. So now we shall look at some theoretical part of it. All right. On passing through a rectangular glass slab, a ray of light suffers two refractions, one while going through the air to glass, and the other while going from glass to air. As we can see here, once refraction takes place at this interface, okay, when it is entering the glass slab. The next takes place where it is exiting the glass slab, is what they are trying to say. All right. So what here you can see is light emerges from the rectangular slab in a direction parallel to that in which it entered the glass slab. So if we look here carefully, okay, we can see that this emergent ray, okay, this emergent ray is parallel to this incident ray is parallel to this emergent ray, okay, in this case, and the perpendicular distance between the original path of incident ray and the emergent ray coming out of the slab is called lateral displacement. Okay, that is called the lateral displacement. So when this incident ray is coming, okay, like this, and it will get refracted, obviously it will move here, but when we extend this, when we draw it back here, and we see that there is some distance between the refracted and the incident ray, so that distance is called the lateral displacement of the emergent ray of light. So here we can see that there is some distance between the emergent and the incident. Distance between emergent and incident is called lateral displacement. Actually, lateral displacement is directly proportional to angle of incident. Okay, it is directly proportional to angle of incident. I1, thickness of the glass slab, how much thick is the glass slab, and refractive index of the glass slab, that is the Ri. So higher the values of these means the lateral displacement will be greater. Okay, so we shall be studying some conditions for refraction of lights. So when light is incident normal on a boundary, okay, it is normal on a boundary, a ray of light traveling in medium 1 falls normally, therefore angle of incident is equal to 0. So in that case we shall use the Snell's law and find out sin I by sin r equal to n2 by n1, or sin r, that is the refracted ray. We want to find out the angle of refraction. So n1 by n2 equal to sin I. So sin 0 is 0, obviously 0 into anything is 0, so refracted ray also will be 0. So if it is there is no deviation in the ray at the boundary, hence no refraction occurs. When that is when there is a media and it falls correctly at 90 degree, exactly at 90 degree to the boundary of the two media, that is on the interface, then there is no refraction taking place. Next we shall see when refractive indices of two media are equal, that is if both the Ri are same, that is n1 equal to n2. So in that case obviously both the media are same because the refractive index is same. So sin I will be sin r equal to sin r, so I will be equal to r. So hence no refraction occurs at the boundary. That is, if the two media are having the same refractive index, it means that both the media are same. So there will be no refractive, there will be no refraction taking place. Okay, now we shall look at spherical lenses. So spherical lenses is nothing but a lens in a transparent material. Just like we had seen spherical mirror, here we have spherical lenses. An appropriate shape that can take parallel rays of light of incident light and either converge or diverge from a point, just like the mirror. mirror used to reflect it, the glass will refract it. That is the point. The incident rays which are coming from a distance will pass through the lens, and while they are passing they are getting refracted, that is they are shifting a little bit, and after they come out from the glass again they are again refraction takes place at that surface, and again it is bent again little bit. So transparent material bound by two surfaces, one of which or both surfaces are spherical. So one side can be plane and one side can be surface curved, or both can be curved. Some lenses will focus light rays to a single point, just like the convex lens which is kept, convex mirror. If you keep an object at the infinity and they are focused at the focal point, so these lenses are called converging or concave lens. In this case it will be reverse. So the lenses which focus the rays at a single point is called converging or concave lens. Don't confuse it with mirror, both are different properties. Other lenses spread out the light rays, okay, because they are bulging like convex. Okay, these lenses are called diverging or concave lenses, convex lenses. So the light rays, the lens which diverges the light rays is convex, the lens which converges the light rays is concave. Lenses change the direction of light rays by refraction. How do they change? By refraction, obviously. We have seen what is refraction. They are designed so that the image appears in a certain place or a certain size. Now when the direction of the light changes, obviously the point at which it was going to be initially will change because of the direction, and this some size also, some extent of the image also will be either enlarged or diminished based upon the again position where we are keeping the object. We shall study now. Lenses are used in eyeglasses, obviously, cameras, microscopes and telescopes. So the first thing that we are going to study is convex lens. So a lens may have two spherical surfaces bulging outwards, both the sides, like an onion, okay, the outer surface of an onion. Such a lens is called double convex lens. Why double? Because both the sides are convex. Or it is also called as simply convex lens. It is thicker at the middle and thinner at the edge. See here, it is thinner at the edges but thicker at the middle. Okay, at edges it is thin, at middle it is thick. So convex lens will converge light rays at a point here. It is called converging lens. So here you can see how they are converged at a point. Next we see concave lens. All right, so in concave lens, a double concave lens is where both the sides are spherical but they are curved inwards like a cave. See, they are thicker at the edge and they are thinner at the medium, just opposite to the concave convex. So what do? Is they diverge the rays from a point. It is, if the rays are coming from the infinity, we feel that they are being diverged from a point. Okay, this is the concave lens. Again, there are some terms related to spherical lenses. Principal axis is nothing but a line which passes through the both the focus point and the optical center of the lens. Okay, and the distance between the optical center and the focus point, any of the focus point, is called focal length, f. Optical center means what? Optical center is nothing but the center point of the lens. Okay, the direction of all light rays which pass through the optical center remains unchanged. So if a light ray passes through the optical center like this, it is not refracted in any direction. Okay, it can be like this, it can be like this, but as long as it passes through the optical center, the direction does not change. We know what is center of curvature. So we know what is center of curvature. A lens which has two spherical surfaces has, which forms a part of a sphere. So if we take one surface of this and just extrapolate it, we'll find a circle here. So the center of that circle is the center of curvature. So next we have aperture. Aperture is again nothing but the effective diameter of the circular outline. So when we measure it from this point to this point, that is the aperture. We know what is focus. So lies parallel lines, which is parallel rays, which is parallel to the principal axis. If they are focused at a point, all the coming from infinity, then it is called the focus, and the distance between the optical center and the focus point is focal length. Now we shall see some rules for obtaining images formed by spherical lenses. So here we have a diagram with us. Okay, so again same as we have studied in mirrors, minimum of two rays should intersect for the formation of the image. So a light ray from the object parallel to the principal axis will pass through the focus for the convex, and for the concave it will be diverging from the focus. The next case will be if it is passing through the focus, then it will be refracted, which is parallel to the principal axis in convex case, and in concave case if it is appearing to diverge, if it is coming towards the focus, then it is refracted, which is parallel to the principal axis. Next we have already seen that if it is passing through the optical center, then there will be no deviation and the emergent ray will be just in the line of the incident ray.